Hi everyone, it's Miranda with Multiplicity Crafts, and today I have a very special birthday card I'm making, and this is for my great aunt who is turning 94 years young. So I wanted to show you how I put her card together. I used mostly paper and made a collage for her card. I used this paper pack. It's a Prima paper pack. It's Dulce, I believe is the name of it. Yeah, it's, let's see, Frank Garcia. And so I'll try to find this and link it below if it's still available. This is one I've had for a little while. So I used just various little cutouts from this to create a collage. And then I used a few little components out of here, like I think maybe like one little component. It was, I think it was just like one of those little foiled hearts. I'm not sure if I still have one of those pages in here or not. But anyway, so I did use just like one, I think, minor component out of that. So when I had my collage all glued together, this is what I came up with. And there you can see the little tiny foiled heart. That's all that I really used out of this My Mind's Eye Bliss paper pack. So this is mostly from this one. So you can see here how I have cut out various components of the paper pack and glued them on, like these little separate, these actually are separate. These are not on the original page. I cut the little roses out and then framed around the corners, and then I put some even behind here to give it a little different look. Some of these, like the cupcakes, I cut out by themselves. There's a little tiny one there. Like some of these I matted with a separate cardstock. It was just like a wood grain cardstock. So you can see here is like an example of a little piece I had matted. I didn't record me doing this part because I thought it might not be the most entertaining just to watch me cut out a bunch of papers and glue them together, you know, like, because I was fussing with it a lot, you know, like I was like, okay, does that look good there? No, 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 you know, so it was a little bit, took a little bit longer than it probably should have. So anyway, I just want to show you how I'm going to put this card together and make a wow factor card with a lot of dimension on it. So for the base of the card, I'm using a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I just cut the 12 by 12 down to where it's 6 inches this way and then 12 inches this way, and then folded it in half to make my card base. Now this particular cardstock, even though it's beautiful, it's a little bit flimsy. And so I want to add some stability to that because the front of the card is going to have a lot of weight on it, and I don't want it to fall apart or to, you know, not stand upright whenever it's presented. So what I'm going to do to remedy that is add some chipboard. So I cut some small chipboard pieces to go on the inside, and this will just add some stability. Just like that. So I'm going to glue those inside, and then just to decorate so it's not just plain, you know, chipboard, I'm going to put like some of this matching cardstock in here. And let's see, and I think I'm going to turn this one around and just do it like that, and then that way I can write a message on here. In order for this to be kind of coordinated with this, I wanted to add some elements of this paper. So I'm going to take a little piece of the excess paper and just maybe put it in an angle, something like this, and glue this in. So I'll show you. Just going to put this like so, if I can grab the paper, and then I'll just put it like on the angle and then fold these over just to kind of see where I need, about right there, and then I will glue that into place with my glue. So I'm just adding a light amount of glue, don't need too much here. Actually, I probably didn't need it on that, that edge, but it's okay. So let me get this put into place here. And you can embellish this as much or as little as you want. It's up to you, but I just wanted the inside to kind of coordinate with the outside. And I'm kind of doing this backwards, showing you the inside first, but since I'm not going to really show that on camera, I did want to go ahead and mention that. And then I'll just probably cut this excess away. There. And this you can either glue down or cut away. I'll just cut it away. Like so. Alright, so there we go. I'm just going to get that out of the way. Paper scrap. So you can see there, it kind of ties in a little more with the other page. And then whenever you write your message on here, it'll look more complete, obviously. So anyway, that's the inside. So I'm not going to do that right now or glue everything down. I just wanted to show you that briefly. So the star of the show is this front panel. So before I glue anything down, I want to orient myself to how I want, not orient myself, but orient the card to how I want it. So let me put this little pin back in my glue so my glue won't dry out too quickly. And then let's see here. So I think what I'll do, because this little top corner needs something, I actually had to search high and low, but I found my little embellishment box and it's got like a ton of embellishments, so I just picked a few out that I'll be using. And then also I'm going to use some of these little paper doilies. These are from Doodlebug Design. And then I'm going to be using this element. It's like a lace cross, and my friend known as Scrapbooking Mama, which is Jeannie Ellis here on YouTube, she sent me this one time in a card, and so I wanted to use it on something very, very special. And so this will be for my great aunt's 94th birthday. So this is definitely a very special card that I wanted to use this piece on. So like I say, before I glue this collage panel down, I did just want to kind of see how I want to orient this card. What I'll do is, I had kind of laid this out before I filmed the video just to get an idea of how I wanted it to look, so I wouldn't have to fiddle with it too much. Some of these elements are just ones I've collected over the years. Some of them are, this one is actually one I just like cut out from a magazine. I mean, you can find them any and everywhere. This is a little ephemera, and I put some little embellishments of pearls on the butterfly just to give it a little extra something. And a lot of these embellishments I redid myself. So for what I mean by that is, for example, this sticking to that, this little flower here, you can see I have like a pearl and then a pink sequin behind there. This, whenever I first had it, it was like almost like a yellow in the center, and I didn't really want that because it didn't match my card. So you can even change your embellishments to make them how you want them. So I'm going to bring all my elements out. Even these, I redid these. I put a gold sequin and then a pearl in those just to change that up a little bit. So I have gold sequins here. I'm going to add some of those flowers and some of these Studio Katia embellishments, these little pink sequins as well. So let's see here. So what I'm going to do to begin is put my little paper doilies where I think I want them. I'm thinking, let's see, I'm thinking I want to put one, well, actually I think I want to put one right in the middle of the card, or actually not middle card, but the middle-ish of the card, and put this circle die cut in front, and that way my cross will show up better, because if I don't, it's just going to blend into that and I'm not going to be able to see it as well. So I will go ahead and glue that down, and I guess I could leave this pin out of my glue for a minute. I don't think it'll dry that quickly, hopefully. So I think the Barely Art glue, it doesn't dry quite as quickly as the art glitter glue, I don't think. Normally it doesn't anyway. So I'm just going to add a light amount of glue. Put that on top here. I want to center that the best I can. There we go. And I think it's safe to go ahead and glue this down, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this little doily down with that on top. Now on this doily, since it has like the little cutouts, I'm just going to add little dots of glue on the edges because I don't want the glue to seep through those little cutouts. So I'm going to put that off center about right there. And it feels kind of sad that you're covering up your work that you already did on the collage, but you'll be glad whenever you're finished because it'll look great. So anyway, there you go. Okay, so now that I have you zoomed in a little bit, you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better here. Let's see, I was thinking about just doing the paper doilies like here, maybe in this corner, and probably predictably in this other corner, just to balance it. Something to that effect anyway. I don't want it to look too matchy-matchy, but I do want it to look balanced, so I think that'll give it a good balanced look, something like that. It's probably okay for me to go ahead and glue these down, so let's go for it. I'll just glue the center part down and then I can go back later and get the little edges. I just kind of want to get this, let's see, I think I'll put that about right there. Yep, about right there is good. Okay, just want to make sure. And this one, I'll just lift that up and put some glue under here, and that way I don't have to stress where I'm replacing it. I'll push that down actually a little bit. It was hanging off the card. Okay, so I'm going to glue these little edges down a little bit better in due time, but for now, that's good. I'm thinking it's okay if I go ahead and glue this down, to be honest, because I'm not going to be adding anything else behind here now that I have those paper doilies in place. So let's see, I don't think I want to add any more. Let me just see. No, I don't think I do. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that and glue this. Get these little tiny flower petals hanging off the edge. A little cupcake. Oops. And center that the best I can. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to add these little embellishments up here. And I think I'm going to add these in first because once I start doing this main part, it's going to start getting kind of crowded and busy, so I want to go ahead and get these little guys in place right there in the corner, something like that. I think looks cute. I could use glue dots for this, and that would be probably a little bit easier. Let's see, does this peel off? I thought it had a sticker. Yeah, it probably does, but I'm just going to use glue. But I could use glue dots on this, but this Barely Art glue seems to hold pretty well, so I'm just going to go with it since that's what I have out and it's accessible and easy. Some of these little embellishments I have had for years and years and years, and I'm just now getting around to using them because I have like this big thing of embellishments that I keep everything in, so it takes me a while to use them, and then I of course accumulate more as time passes. So okay, so I'll put this one here, and that's going to start to add some dimension to the card, as you can see. And it adds the shine, and it catches the light really pretty. And then we're going to do the main focal point of the card, which is right in here. And before I get my cross and everything placed down, it seems funny just to put this behind here. It just kind of looks random, like it doesn't match or whatever. But once in the end, once I have everything in place and all the flowers, it just kind of helps that cross to show up a little better. It seems kind of weird, you know, like, oh, let's put like a vase of flowers behind, but really it just helps accentuate the cross a little bit more. So I'm going to probably, let's see, make sure I'm in frame here. Okay, so I'm going to have my cross coming down a little bit on the bottom there, you can see. So let me go ahead and glue this little thing down. Now I hope this type of video isn't boring. I'm trying to do a live voiceover, and I normally do pre-recorded ones, and so the pre-recorded ones are a little bit less rambly, I guess would be the word. And I'm probably talking a little bit more incomplete sentences and clearer in my recorded voiceovers, but I thought I would try it live, or, you know, not live, but you get the idea. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to put this cross down before I add anything else. Now this is going to be really tricky because it's such a fine little piece of lace, I can't really add a lot of glue, even though this glue will dry clear. I don't want it to be sticky or show through or shine, and so I'm going to have to just really pick and choose where I put the little dots of glue. I could use like a glue dot or whatever, but since it's going to have embellishments on top of it and to the side, it will help pin it down a little bit more. So I'm not too concerned if it's not glued down in every little tiny part. And this center part, I don't even mind if the glue seeps through because I'm going to add a butterfly on top of that anyway, so that will be fine. So I'm just going to put it on that center part, and let's see, I want it about right here. Make sure that's straight enough. And even after it's finished, you may not can even tell it's a cross, but even just the look of the lace, I think behind there just gives it a really shabby chic type, pearls and lace type vibe, so we'll just go with it. So I'm going to just add that there. Now that's going to take a little bit longer to dry because, you know, it's fabric, so add this the tiniest bit back here just to pin it down. Like this is at the top, it's not wanting to stick real well, so I might just have to hold it down a minute until it grabs onto the paper. Okay, now that I have the cross glued down, I will go ahead and start adding the embellishments on top. Now the glue behind the cross isn't quite dry, so if that pops back up, I'll just have to push that back down while we're going. So this butterfly I want to put right here. Actually, I think I'm going to wait and add that at the very end because I'm going to put some other things underneath here, like these little flowers. Some of them, that's why I didn't glue this down all the way, so I can kind of tuck this under that lace to a degree. Let's see, I think I want to do something like this. I don't really want to add one up here because I've already got all those flowers, even though it would probably look okay. So instead of just narrating like, okay, I'm moving this flower here, I think I'll talk to you guys a little bit about some things that have been going on with me. Would you like that? I hope. Okay, so with me, I've been having some health issues lately, and I've always kind of had health issues anyway my whole life, but it just seems like lately they've gotten worse. I have heart problems. I mean, I could just list off everything. It's so many things. Like, I have heart problems, I have some rare diseases, I have postural tachycardia, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, mast cell activation disorder, I have endometriosis, I have a couple of lesions on my brain. One is a pineal gland cyst. It's like 7 millimeters, I believe, and then there's another lesion up there just hanging out. They don't really know what it is. They think it's nothing serious. At first they thought it was called a cholesterol granuloma, but they're not sure. It's on the petrous apex or petrous apex. I'm not sure how you say that. And I did a lot of medical research to try to find out how I can help myself with all these various ailments that have come upon me. And of course, prayer always is welcome and helps. But at the end of the day, you know, I just have to do what I have to do. There's other things going on, like I have chronic fatigue problems. I have, oh man, it just feels like a lot. With my heart, I've just recently been diagnosed with some new heart conditions, like an aortic aneurysm and just a bunch of stuff. And so, yeah, it's kind of heavy on me, but I still have my joy because I have Jesus. And so, you know, that doesn't mean life is easy, but you know, it does mean I do have a place to go, and that's to my faith, to Jesus. And speaking of, I am practically finished with my book. For those of you who are keeping up, I was writing a book. It's a women's devotional book, and so I think it should be done. Okay, I really don't want to say before the end of the year, because then if I don't get it done before the end of the year, I'll be like, oh man. But I really do want to try to get it finished before the end of the year. But anyway, so I'm working on that, and that's been keeping me busy. Also busy with my precious little girl. She is 3 years old, and little Clarissa is her name, Clarissa Faith. And she's being a very good girl for mommy. And she always has been, really. I mean, she really is. I mean, I might be a little biased, but I think she's just an angel in disguise. So, I don't think I'm biased, though. I really don't. She really is just a little angel. Honestly, she's so good. She's such a good baby. I say baby, I mean, you know, she's a toddler, but she's always mama's baby. So not sure if you guys knew, but with Clarissa, my husband and I were married nearly 18 years before we were pregnant with her. So yeah, she's our miracle baby, our blessing. Okay, so I think I've got a pretty good layout for this card. I was going to put this little arrow thing somewhere because it kind of has that gold sheen to it. It matches, but I just can't really find a good spot for it. I mean, I suppose I could put it here. I don't know. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and glue. I don't know. I don't even know if I need that little flower underneath there, to be honest with you. Do I? I don't know. So anyway, what I'm going to do is just glue down everything, and then whenever I'm finished, I'll come back. Oh wait, actually before I go, I want to show you all my little trick for gluing on sequins. I just kind of found this to be helpful. So I actually figured it out by accident, but anyway. So I just put my like sequin or whatever, usually, well, it's a sequin because it has a hole in the center, on a straight pin, pretty much the one that comes with my glue. And then I just add my little dot of glue where I need it for the sequin. And then what I'll do is just go in and go like that. And then that way it is a lot easier than like trying to get it with your hand and like flip it around and stuff, because sometimes like I can't grab it, or my fingers stick to the sequin and it comes back up rather than sticking to the paper. So I just put it, I'll show you another example just for grins. So I'll put it there on the end of my little straight pin, and then I'll put a little dot of glue where I need it, and then I just stick the straight pin just right in the center of the dot of glue, because it's not gonna matter, it's my glue pin anyway, it's already got glue on it. And then just push it into place, and you can even use the head of the pin to kind of push it into place a little bit. So yeah, that's a really helpful trick that I just kind of discovered today as I was gluing on these sequins. So I hope that helps you out too. Wow, I kind of like this trick. Why didn't I think of this earlier? Okay, so the finishing touch on this card is going to be to add the sentiment, and I cut the little fishtail banner on this end of it too, because I was gonna put it underneath there, but I think I'll do it on top like that. So I do want to pop this up so it'll have some more dimension and it'll lay nicely. So I added some little dimensional foam squares on the back. So let me place this down here, and then I will hold up the finished card for you to see. Make sure that's straight. There we go. All right, so there you can see the finished card. Okay, this is just a bit of a candid look at the card, but you can see it a little bit better rather than the overhead shot. So I'm just kind of holding my camera. I'm trying to hold it really still for you guys so you can see the card a little bit better this way and kind of get the true color of it rather than under those bright lights. So I hope this is helpful for you to get a better look at it. I did want to say, cards like this, sometimes they don't want to go in envelopes really well. And so what you can do is you can put it in like a box envelope. You can make your own box envelope for these, or you can even put them in like a cellophane bag and like tie it at the top with a ribbon and put little like shredded, what do they call that? Little shredded stuff, shredded papers in the bottom, just to kind of decorate it or whatever, you know, I don't know. And you can put like a little something in there with it, like a bookmark and a pen and things. That way you don't have to worry about it if you're hand delivering it. But if you're mailing it, you could always put it in like a padded envelope, or you can make its own little box for it and then put that within another box to mail. So I did want to say that, give you those little tips on mailing. Oh, I've got little sequin pieces all over. So I wanted to give you those tips before I let you go too. So, okay, I promise this is the final closing here. I just wanted to bring that up. So have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.